Hi everybody, Claire here from Rainbow Acrylics. I want to show you a very quick video on how I varnish my paintings. I've had a lot of people ask me recently what varnish I use, how many coats of varnish I apply, how I apply it to the canvas. So I thought the best way is just to show you with a quick video. I've got a couple of canvases here that are ready. If it's a Dutch pour painting, I will wait about 3 weeks for it to be varnished. If it's a flip cup or a straight pour, because the paint is much thicker and there's much more paint left on the canvas, I wait at least 4 weeks for it to fully cure. If you do it too quickly and you trap any moisture underneath the layer of varnish, I think it would just be a disaster further down the line. I think the moisture will just cause lots of problems in the painting. So if you want it to last long term, you really need to be patient and let the painting cure. So I've got some canvases here, so I'm going to show you. Right, so I've got my two canvases here, my Dutch pour and my straight pour, or wing pour actually, I think this one was. The first thing I do is just give them a wipe, just give them a dust. I haven't got any silicone in these paintings. I know that the artists that have used silicone actually use a baby wipe or some sort of soap and detergent to actually clean their paintings. But I just don't want to add any extra moisture. There's no silicone, so I just want the dust off the surface. So the varnish I use is this one. So liquitex Professional High Gloss Varnish. So it's nice and liquidy. Never shake it because you get loads of bubbles in it. So to apply the varnish, I use this strange looking thing. So this is just a car sponge, and I've wrapped it, I don't know if you can see this, in 2 pop socks. So those nylon pop socks or a pair of tights. And the reason I do that is it just stops, if the sponge breaks up, it just stops any loose bits of sponge coming off and then going onto your painting. Now this sponge I've been using for ages, and I don't know if you can see at the bottom here, it is completely saturated in varnish. And the reason it's like that is because after I varnish the painting, I put it back into an airtight bag and I seal it, so all that moisture stays in this plastic bag. And then when I'm ready to varnish again, I literally just take it out. It's heavy, it's already saturated. I always use gloves because varnish is just disgusting on your hands. It just takes ages to pick it off. It's really not very good. So to apply the varnish, I'm just going to put a really small amount of varnish just down one side of the painting. And then all I'm going to do is just wipe it across the painting. It's a really, really thin layer of paint, of varnish. Really, really thin layer. So it's nicely wiped across. And then I'm just doing the edges. I've kept the push pins in the back of my painting so it stays off the table, otherwise the varnish will stick to the table. And then what I like to do is just try and have a look at it in the light to make sure there's no puddles of varnish. No, that looks fine. And then the same with this canvas, just a very thin layer of varnish, and I'm just going to wipe it across the painting. I'm wiping it just in the same direction every single time. Try and get really nice straight lines with the sponge. And then again, I'm just looking at it in the light just to make sure there's no puddles of varnish. I think that looks fine. So I'm going to let that dry. It will take probably about 30 minutes. It doesn't take long at all. And then what I'm going to do next is pick the painting up and then twist it 90 degrees. Both of them, I'm going to turn them 90 degrees. And then I'm going to put more varnish down the side and then do the same in the same direction. I do this 4 times. So after 2 coats, then I'll twist it again and do it across this way, and then once more across in this direction. So what will happen, you'll get some very faint lines of the varnish, but what will happen, because you've got it in different directions, they kind of cancel each other out, so you don't really see them. You will see them very slightly, but it's not particularly obvious because you've done so many coats. Right, I'm ready to do the second coat. So as I said, I'm just going to twist both of my canvases around by 90 degrees. And then do exactly the same again. So I'm just going to take my sponge out the bag. get my varnish, and exactly the same again, a little bead of varnish down the side, and just wipe it across in the same motion. So these lines are now at 90 degrees to the first set of lines. Just do the edges. And then I'm just going to check it, just checking, I'm shining it in the light. That looks like quite a nice even coat. The other thing I sometimes do is just with my hand, just run along the edges, because I often find you get bubbles along the edges, along the ridges and along the sides, and the bubbles will dry as bubbles, so you must get rid of them. And then same again for this one. Now this, because this is a longer canvas, if it's longer than this, longer still, what I would do is put a bead of varnish down one side, down the left hand side, but then also in the middle as well, and then wipe it across in exactly the same way. And then I'm just checking it. Yep, happy with that. Oh, just a bit there. Great, so that's layer 2 finished. Right, layer number 3. So again, turn them 90 degrees. And repeat. Varnish down the left hand side and spread across to the right. Obviously if you're left handed you might want to do this the other way round. There are lots of other things you can apply the varnish with, different types of sponges. I know a lot of people pour their varnish on and just let it level. I've just had disasters doing that because I've just found that it crazed. I got all these pits in the painting and absolutely ruined my paintings. So I feel that for me what works best is just very, very thin layers, but 4 of them. Sometimes I'll just do 3, but most of the time 4, just to get an evenness of the line, of the direction that I'm wiping the varnish in. So I've got a few bubbles around the edge, so I'm just going to, with my fingers, just go over the edges. Especially on the ridges, you tend to get bubbles. So, 4th and final coat. Oh, so I'm going to turn them around once more, last time. And again, I'm just shining it in the light to make sure there's no puddles, just to make sure it's quite nice and even. This is the last coat, so I want this one to be, well, this one to be perfect. Checking for bubbles. Yeah, that's fine. It really is this quick and easy. We've had so many varnish disasters in the past, but this just works for me. So if you try this way, let me know how you get on. I'm sure there are so many other ways of doing this, and different ways work for different people, different products work for different people. This works for me, so I'm sticking with it. And I just love doing it. I love the varnishing because it brings the paintings together so much. I'll show you once this is dry. especially the darker one, the colours look so bright. And with this one, this pale one, because there's metallics in here, you can just see the shimmer beautifully. It really brings the paintings alive. Of course, you don't have to varnish, but what the varnish does is it protects the painting, it makes it dust resistant, and also it protects against UV. So I just think it will make the painting last a little bit longer, or last forever. So I've just wiped again, and I've wiped slightly too much, and I sort of wiped the varnish away and left a streak. So I'm actually just going to apply a tiny bit more just to get it really nice and uniform. Brilliant, done. So once this is dry, I'll be back and I'll show you close up what they look like. Right, it's been about an hour now, and the paintings are completely dry. I just want to show you that beautiful finish you get. It's just so smooth and shiny. You can see, yeah, just really happy with this finish. Because this was a ring pour with a lot of paint on, it's extra smooth as well, because there was so much paint on the canvas, it dried really thick and smooth. So actually then when it's varnished, it varnishes beautifully. And then the Dutch pour, there we go. Again, you can see, and often you can just see the shimmer more. It just really picks. I don't think you can see it on the camera here, but it just picks up the glitter and the shimmer, and it's just beautiful. Again, it's very, very glossy, not quite as smooth as the ring pour. You can feel and see a little bit of the texture of the canvas still, but the shine, yeah, just is really beautiful. So that's it. Actually very simple to varnish canvases. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel to see other videos that I'm doing, and just please leave any comments that you want to, any questions. I will always get back to you. Bye.